The Runnin' Rebels are gearing up for their 5th game in 10 days. They're 3-1 in the previous 4, but UNLV lost a heartbreaker at Wyoming on Saturday afternoon. Tonight, the Rebels play on the road for the final time in the regular season, and they need to win to hold their standing in the race for the higher seeds in the upcoming conference tournament. Colorado State has struggled all year. Their woes began with the injury bug hitting almost half the team. Add that with various suspensions and illnesses, and you can see how this one has been a rough one. Disappointing losses in overtime and by single-digit margins have been the norm. But a big win over Michigan last Monday may give the Rams the confidence they need to change that trend tonight. The Runnin' Rebels and Colorado State Rams next on Sports West and Las Vegas 1. It is a Monday night in the Mountain West, and we welcome you inside Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado, for the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV against the Colorado State Rams. And good evening, everybody. I'm Dave McCann. This was a great place to be a week ago. Colorado State came from behind to upset Michigan. Meantime, last Monday in Las Vegas, UNLV rallied to knock off Utah. Both teams are hoping for a good Monday night tonight. Here are the standings now with 2 weeks to go before the conference tournament. Wyoming sitting on top at #1. UNLV in a battle with BYU for 3rd place. Colorado State bringing up the rear. And Irv Brown, my partner tonight. It's going to be a great tournament in 2 weeks. There's a lot of basketball still to play, though.
Throw out CSU's record. They've got 2 of the better basketball players in this conference. And the Spoons team always comes on. They're going to be tough in the tournament. I really look forward to this ball game tonight. I think it's going to be a good one, Dave.
Let's break down the Runnin' Rebels and start with Lou Kelly, one of the spark plugs on offense. He had a big night, a season high last month against Colorado State. Came back, scored 20 Saturday up at Wyoming.
Now you take a look at his numbers. When he came into the season, to me, he was the unknown factor. He had so many injuries a year ago. Lou can take it inside, he can take it outside. Here we see him in the alley-oop. He's just a good basketball player. I expect him to come up very big tonight.
For Colorado State, Brian Green, one of the best players in the conference. He had a career-high 32 last month in Las Vegas, and he's getting some help now from a big guy.
Well, this Green can run the court, and he can handle the basketball. He needs to stay healthy. This big kid could really be something, Dave. I didn't think he'd ever make it watching him last year. He grew from 6'3" to 6'5" to 6'7". All of a sudden, he's a 7-footer. He can shoot the basketball. He's got a good pair of hands. CSU feeds the post better than anybody in the country because they feed it from the top. That means there's no backside help. You really got to do a job on this guy and push him out a little bit. One day, he's going to weigh about 40 pounds more, and he's really going to be special.
We are 2 weeks out from the Mountain West tournament, and the battle for seedings continues. It's all about positioning at this point in February. The Rams and the Rebels coming up live here from Moby Arena. Runnin' Rebels of UNLV. Marcus Banks will lead the way. Booker, Johnson, Richardson, and Kelly in there as well. Charlie Spoonhour enjoying his first season at UNLV. He's got a 14-9 record, 17th season as a Division I head basketball coach. For Colorado State, Macklin, Burley, Williams, Nelson, the big freshman 7-footer, and Green. And the Rams are coached by Dale Lair in his 2nd season. 11th as a Division I head coach, spent 9 years as head man of Queens College. Tip-off is brought to you by Cricket Communications, comfortable wireless, and by Nokia mobile phones. Nokia, connecting people. Dave McCann, Irv Brown, settling in here on a Monday night. Stormy outside. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I think so. UNLV had a shot at Wyoming. You know, they missed a layup late. They're right there. This ball club, I saw him early in the year against Washington. Spoon has really brought him along. Nice.
Richardson is fouled. And Matt Nelson, 7-foot, 220-pound freshman.
This
picks up his first
jump
foul.
out of the gym. Let's pick it up. Takes it right at Nelson. Gets him a foul quickly. That's what you want to do. Make the officials make a call. Our officials are Scott Thornley, the veteran, Richard Ball, Lonnie Dixon.
Richardson, 64% free throw shooter, and he has given UNLV a 1-point lead.
He's got great practice hands. Kind of guy you want on your ball club. Plus, He'll draw a green tonight. You know, UNLV did a poor job covering green in that first game. Let's see if they stop the pick and roll tonight with Richardson.
That's what they've been working on in the short practices that they've held since the Wyoming game. There's Green. He is tough. Picks up right where he left off. He scored 32 at UNLV last month.
Always seems to be where the basketball is, played in the Denver area.
Now it's Richardson. Follows his own miss, and Richardson has 4 points.
He doesn't have much problems, Dave, getting from the bottom to the top. He can jump.
This number 11 can shoot, Andy Burley. They go inside, and Nelson is fouled by Dalron Johnson.
Nelson took on a big 6'11" kid from Michigan last Monday night and worked him over. And you take a look. Here's what happened just a moment ago with Richardson. The guy who shoots knows where the ball's going to be when you miss, and Richardson is the offense early on. Anyway, this Nelson, he'll put on about, I don't know, he looks like he put on 40, 50 pounds to me. He could be something. He can shoot. The ball jumps out right there, but watch the touch. You can't teach 7-footers to shoot.
He missed 8 games with a toe injury. Did not play in the earlier meeting in Las Vegas. 4-3 UNLV. Dalron Johnson, Mountain West Conference Player of the Week, leading scorer in the conference. From the baseline, barely draws iron. Green, Nelson. These Rams can pass the ball, can't they?
Yeah, they're good passers, and they're pretty strong inside.
Matt Williams, another freshman, making a contribution.
That's a strong kid. Good spacing. This is something Spoon does very well. This Spoon rebuilds programs. I've watched him for a long time. St. Louis, Southwest Missouri.
Well, his Rebels have certainly played pretty good basketball over the last couple of weeks as Lou Kelly gets on the board.
Hey, how tough is that? Go to your right, plant 90 degrees, and shoot with the left hand. Not bad.
Kelly had 23 against the Rams. UNLV's victory in Las Vegas. Green. Matchup of Green and Richardson.
Good. Swing it.
Green has an advantage with weight. Kelly with the block, but Nelson stays with it.
He can be unstoppable in the low blocks. UNLV did a good job there, and the kid just comes right down and gets it. Look at this sweet move.
Kelly for 3, and UNLV's lead is 2. He doesn't mess around.
Hey, let me tell you something. We featured the right guy at the top. I watched him warm up for the ballgame. He didn't miss a shot.
5 points for Lou Kelly. On his way to a pretty good road trip. Burley steps inside the defense and hands it to Williams. Booker brings it out. 3-on-3. Booker to Johnson. Another wild miss by Dalron Johnson.
CSU looks like they want to run with the running Rebels.
Williams.
Rebels really completed the game against Utah transition. They didn't do much in transition against Wyoming. They didn't handle the ball.
Now it's Green, foot into the lane.
I like the start of this one. I like the tempo.
9-9, 4 points for Green. Marcus Banks for 2.
You got to like this guy. They're on him for some time. Marcus Banks, he's a local. Cimarron High School, right down where you live. Dixie College.
Had to be re-recruited when Spoonhour got the job. Williams, all the answers on the ram end, and the freshman making quite an impact here early on.
They shot the ball from the outside. It's been all inside.
And for UNLV, it's been all outside. Johnson now 0 for 3 to start. Joe Macklin, running the offense as a senior. Hands it to the freshman, and Williams is fouled.
This should be a pass-off, no shot. You shoot at 7, you get 2 at 10. We're tied.
Offensive foul on Williams.
Oh, they went the other way, excuse me. And he sacrifices the body and gets rewarded by Richard Ball.
Lou Kelly draws the contact. Burley sits down. And John Rakeski is in, redshirt freshman. Very young Colorado State team. They've been banged up, they've had suspensions, they've had illnesses, and they've got a lot of youth. Add it all up, and it's been a very disappointing season. And a personal foul on Joe Macklin, trying to hold on to Marcus Banks. Timeout, 15:56 to go. We're early on at Moby Arena, all tied up at 11 apiece. Half in Las Vegas, and so far tonight they're at 71%. And UNLV shooting 50%. Game tied up at 11.
Both teams like playing man-to-man. It's easy to say, why don't you get in the zone sometimes? If you're not used to playing zone, it's not that easy.
Kelly has it stripped away and then knocked out of bounds. Joe Macklin, some quick hands. And he may have jammed the thumb or a shoulder or what after that exchange.
Barton County Community College, he's got some ability. He's hurting. I wonder if he, I'll tell you what, they're not even looking at him. They said, just tough it up, kid.
Rebels will have the ball. There you see the percentages, 71%, 50%, both teams. That's a good way to start.
Scott Thornley did a good thing there. He let the kid kind of get healed up, if I may. And he just held on to the basketball for a while. I watch Macklin, he steps in. And he hurt himself pretty good.
He's come out of the game. Burley
He's dislocated. They're taking him right to the locker room, it looks like.
Johnson is 0 for 3. Dribbles it off his foot. Quanton Smith into the game, and a big defensive stop.
Yeah, they got to get Dalron going. Luke Kelly off very, very quick. Need to get Johnson going.
Burley and Banks tried to feed the big guy, knocked out of bounds by Johnson.
CSU hasn't reversed it yet. Their best move is to go from the top down to the big kid. That hasn't happened yet.
Richardson steals it away from Smith. It's one-on-one, and Richardson with the left hand.
No good. Richard Ball's got a foul early, going the other way on the back.
If it's Johnson, it's number 2 on Johnson.
I think they got 15.
Like Kelly.
Kelly, yeah.
Lou Kelly with his first foul.
Amundsen, the Colorado kid, will come in. This kid dives on the floor for, here's a look at what goes on the foul before.
I don't see Lou Kelly anywhere near the ball.
Maybe they were guessing. That's interesting.
So the Rams have it. And we're still tied up.
Watch down low. Amundsen draws the bigger Nelson. It's about a 5-inch differential.
Green. There it is. Into Nelson, and Amundsen just reached in and grabbed his arms.
Amundsen played a school in the Denver area, Monarch High School. And I talked to Spoon when he recruited him. They like his hustle. They like the way he dives after balls. Reminds you a lot of the guy doing the radio for UNLV, Glenn Gondrzak.
Nelson, 1 of 2. Now 2 of 3 from the stripe, and the Rams take a 1-point lead.
There's a look at the Spoon. What you see is what you get. He didn't have a phony bone in his body.
Nelson will sit down. Ronnie Clark checks in for Dale Air. Lair very disappointed with the effort this team gave on Saturday night. San Diego State came in here and laid a beating on them.
Well, they were just bad. Dale, he wasn't very happy, as you mentioned.
Kelly trying to shake Green. Swoops into the lane. Well, he didn't shake him, but he still knocked down the shot.
That's an NBA move. Going to your right, shoot with the left hand. Was he off fast? Looking good.
Rakeski on the baseline, loses it out of bounds. And it's last touched by a Rebel player, and the Rams will keep it.
It's 5.
Barely. beat the count. Burley and Banks. Burley, one of the best three-point shooters they've had at Colorado State.
He's like a coach on the floor.
Smith over Amundsen. They took a look at it. And a foul on the rebound. Clark hit the ground with the ball.
All right, let's pick this up. Once again, a little bit of size advantage here. Amundsen pushing him out. There's the foul inside.
Lou Kelly. And that's his first, which adds more mystery to the call at the other end of the floor. They've yet to identify who that foul was on. This one's on Kelly. This is a three from Burley.
Oh, he can play. Burley's a coach's kid. He can get you an assist. He was all turning in the Big Island Invitational.
His 66th three-pointer of the season.
Well, it used to be just a catch-and-shoot guy. Now he handles it. We're going to get into the one-on-one all three early. It's going to be a foul shooting contest real quick.
Biggest lead of the game for the Rams, 3 points. Banks looks up at the shot clock.
Sweet Lou.
Banks shakes his defender, offers a three, and ties the game.
He's got range, doesn't he?
5 points for Banks.
Cousin Ron Riley was an NBA player. This guy's good. Got a great approach to the game. Strong and quick.
Certainly an NBA future. Just a junior. A foul after the steal. And it's on Rakeski of Colorado State. So the Rebels will get the ball and a chance to take the lead. Another substitution. Matt Brown checks in, and Brian Green will sit down for the first time.
So both ball clubs using a lot of players.
Brown dished out a career-high 6 assists against UNLV. Didn't score a whole lot, averaging just 4 points. This Sports West college basketball presentation is brought to you in part by Panasonic Wireless Phones. Panasonic for the way you live. Banks driving on Burley. Now it's Kelly for a long-range three. Last touch by Amundsen and out of bounds.
Amundsen had the inside position. Smith a little better jumper and goes up clean, and Amundsen hits it out of bounds. So we're tied at 16 thanks to Banks' effort.
Rebels lost by 4 at Wyoming on Saturday. Just 1 turnover so far tonight. The Rams lost by 7. Or 12 rather to San Diego State. Here's Burley for another three.
Well, that was right on line with us. He is pure.
He's the only player to start every game on this team this year.
Let me tell you what's interesting. If the tournament were played today, CSU would play #1 Wyoming. CSU took Wyoming to overtime. CSU is not a bad basketball team. That's offense.
Too much one-on-one for Chris Richardson. And the Rams have it. Javon Banks checks in. Marcus Banks checks out. Omari Pearson's up off the bench. He'll check in. And Richardson will check out. Freddie Robinson in for Colorado State. We got everybody in Memphis.
Yeah. Everybody gets a letter jacket tonight.
Macklin, good to see him back in the game. Went out with a banged up shoulder a short time ago. Gets away with the travel.
Yes, he did. He changed pit. You know, you can ref, Dave. That's good. You know, he playing tough defense and then he give up this one.
Clark, short miss. Pearson into the hands of Booker. Rebels trail by 3. It's Kelly. Pearson. Amundsen on the rebound, and he's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2. And Macklin picks up the personal.
You got a chance to be a good player. Spoon likes this guy. Just hangs around. He's recruited by Tulsa, SMU, Pepperdine.
Really one of a handful of very good freshmen. Jared Jensen of BYU. Jason
he's got
Strait,
great hands.
Wyoming's point guard.
Yeah.
Probably leading candidate for Player of the Year for freshmen. And Amundsen, who's been able to make a number of contributions. He had 13 points against DePaul. And he pulls UNLV within 2. The Rebels going to be pretty good next year. A couple of guards sitting out this year. They have a couple of wide body type recruits coming in.
I've never seen the Spoon where he doesn't get it going. I'm serious, Dave. refereed him a long time ago. This guy just stays with it.
They'll have a bench next year as well. Amundsen makes both, and the Rebels pull within one. 19-18 Colorado State with time on the floor.
That's right. Andy Burley, a couple of threes. Leads his ball club in scoring with 6. Luke Kelly leading the Rebels with 7. A little pressure here.
First look at full court pressure from UNLV.
Saw the field goal percentage there. It's dead even ball game.
Rams are leading by 1. Macklin will wait for Nelson to get in position. Nelson with Pearson on him down low.
Pearson's doing a pretty good job of roughing him up. Well done.
Javon Banks around the back to buy him some real estate. Finds Vince Booker for 3. And Macklin rebounds. The Rams come running right back. Banks nearly stole another.
Everybody's down in the stands. That's pretty serious defense by the team in red.
Robinson tries to take Kelly off the dribble. Macklin with the rebound into the arms of Kelly. 1-on-4. Lou will slow it down. He won't stay slowed down for long. Here's Javon Banks for 3. And the Rebels are back in the lead.
He pumped that thing up from his belt buckle, made it look pretty easy.
3 points for Javon Banks, a senior out of Valley High School in Las Vegas. A Cheyenne grad and a Valley grad on the floor for UNLV.
Well, you have good high school basketball down there, don't you? They play pretty good.
Some years are better than others. You got a good guard coming out of Bishop Gorman. Macklin and the foul. C.J. Watson's going to Tennessee, probably the best player in all Southern Nevada.
He is going to Tennessee for sure.
Yeah.
You saw Macklin on the drive. Let's pick it up. Once again, penetration is what wins in this game. Beat him on the dribble, make the officials make a call, leans in. Not much of a foul, but they call it. So Macklin, the guard from Barton County Community College, he played a year at Texas San Antonio. He will get you an assist.
Second foul on Kelly. Green returns for the Rams. 3-point play by Macklin. And Colorado State's back in the lead. Burley is back in, and so is Richardson. Luke Kelly will have to sit down with those 2 personal fouls. Kelly with 7 points.
Excuse me, Dave. Delron Johnson picked up a couple real early scores.
This college basketball presentation is brought to you in part by Verizon Wireless. Simple, affordable, national. Join in. The lob to Richardson. Stolen away. Burley comes out with it. Good ball movement. There's Green on the baseline. Gets Richardson in the air. A high rainbow shot brought down by Pearson.
Pearson did a good job. Had a couple people all around him. Goes up and gets a basketball.
Banks to Pearson. Doesn't shoot threes. Gets it to Marcus Banks, who's back into the line. Banks can't shake Burley. Now it's Pearson moving in on the 7-footer. Shot no good. And Clark brings it up for the Rams. Burley to Rakeski. Wide open's Nelson.
Nice pass by Rakeski, and the big kid gets his 2nd bucket of the night. I saw him get 32 against the University of Denver. Then he dislocated a toe, and it's been tough.
5-point run by Colorado State. Banks looking for a lane. Into some trouble. Leaves it for Amundsen. Stolen away by Green. Burley's already hit 2 threes. Rakeski from deep in the corner.
This guy's a very good shooter. If he gets off early, he's tough. Spoon wants a timeout. Right now, it's all CSU. They have their biggest lead of the night. They've shot it effectively. They weren't going from the outside. All of a sudden, that's changed with Burley and Rakeski.
27-21, Colorado State. Charlie Spoonhour not happy with the defense. Called a 30-second timeout. Now let's look at the R.C. Willey Scholar athletes for this week. For UNLV, Marcus Banks, a junior guard from Las Vegas, a 3.45 GPA in sociology. Colorado State, Brian Green, a junior forward from Thornton, Colorado. Brian, majoring in business, has a 3.35 GPA. R.C. Willey congratulates this week's Scholar athletes and reminds you nobody beats R.C. Willey. Fonte Johnson is into the game for UNLV. He had a rather tough Saturday down the road in Laramie. Missed a layup with 7 seconds to play, which would have tied the game. Fonte with the ball. Amundsen, freshman, driving in on another freshman, gets his own rebound, and then loses the ball.
You know, it's too bad, but that's an explosion coming off that baseline.
Timeout, 7:55 to go. The Rams by 6. You're watching college basketball on Sports West, and we're back after a message from your local station. Quality Sinclair gasoline with SG 2000 and simply unbeatable. Sinclair, a proud sponsor of college basketball on Sports West. Dave McCann, Irv Brown, Colorado State leading UNLV 27-21. And the Rams are on an 8-0 run. They've done that in just 60 seconds. UNLV, they were shooting 50% a few minutes ago, down to 38. And the Rams at 58%. A lot of those are pretty close to the basket.
And they are 3 for 3, three-point line.
Been 4 minutes since the Rebels scored a field goal. Nelson again.
Well, Mr. Bunny, didn't he? All right, let's see if the Rebels get something going now.
Banks to LaFonte Johnson. He hits a 3.
Yeah, Rick Pitino made a living doing that when he's at Providence. The three-point shot can get you back in the game quicker than anything.
Johnson now 11 of 35.
Nice.
Brian Green, he got fouled. They didn't call it. He had an uncontested lay-in.
He did a great job pinning Amundsen down. You're right, he did get fouled. 5-point Ram lead.
6 points for Brian Green. Now Banks working on Burley. Fonte Johnson again. Richardson. Too far out for his liking. Now it's Marcus Banks. See how fast Banks is. Takes it in, has it blocked.
Oh, they're not going to like that one here. That big kid went up and blocked it clean. Dale Layer says, what?
Number 2 on Nelson.
All right, you call it. You're the referee here. That's a pretty good block.
You got to admire Marcus Banks at 6'1", challenging the 7-footer. And Banks to go to the line. 67% shooter from the stripe. Been hot and cold at different periods of the season.
Well, he's so strong, though. I'd recruit him as a cornerback in the NFL. Kind of guy you're looking for.
Knocks the first down. Lamar Bigby checks in for Lewis Amundsen.
Oh, we haven't seen Johnson at all, have we?
Missed his first 3 shots, got a foul, and Charlie Spoonhour perhaps not too happy with the shot selection.
I'll tell you this, though, he's up congratulating Amundsen as he comes by, so Johnson is staying in the basketball game.
Banks gets both, and the Rebels are back within 3.
Here's the pressure. Trying to looking for a mistake. Get him to put it on the floor. Wrong guy picks up the dribble.
Burley maneuvers past Banks. It's Green. Keski. Burley. Green. Green jump shot.
He's tough. He's as good as you have here in the Mountain West Conference.
Just a junior.
He was hurt all last year. Always sees a trainer after every practice, I'm told. Something bothering him.
Be quite a matchup next year. Dowron Johnson and Brian Green, both as seniors. If it comes to that. Kick ball. The Rebels will get a fresh clock with just under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Smith returns for Colorado State. So does Freddie Robinson. And Brown, or Nelson rather, and McKeskey sit down. So we'll go with a much shorter lineup. Nursing a 5-point lead. Banks trying to get around Robinson, and Robinson's hit with his first foul.
They were looking for a 5-second call. That didn't happen. All right, let's pick it up. Here it is. There's the arm bar. You know, to start out, I thought we were going to have a free throw shooting contest, and then they laid off a little bit. So there's 17 fouls on the Rams, 6 on the Rebels.
Banks at the line to shoot 1 and 1. He made 2 there a moment ago. 7 points already tonight for Marcus Banks. He had 22 Saturday at Wyoming. 31 for a season high against Old Dominion. The last time these two teams got together, Banks had somewhat of an off night and scored 11 points. UNLV perfect from the line. The Rams 4 of 5.
All right, here's the pressure once again.
They've got a fast lineup in there, UNLV does.
They're looking for the double team.
Williams, Robinson, and Robinson lost it out of bounds. A lot of banging away from the ball. That's why you hear members of the crowd.
Yeah, they got excited. The Rebels can tie right here with the tray. There's Dale there wants to visit.
Now Banks trying to find a lane. They're trying to spread everybody out. I'd love to see him go one-on-one. Big shut down. Back to LaFonte Johnson.
Straight up.
Now Richardson. Banks in the corner.
7 seconds to get one off.
Banks lost the ball. Here comes Burley and the Rams. Williams to Green. Richardson rebounds, and it's a dead sprint to the other end.
Boy, does he sky. He is really impressive.
Banks all the way in.
Boy, they gotta start calling something, Dave.
No foul. Well, they're letting them get after each other. Burley for 3 more. This time he misses. Smith on the rebound, and he's fouled by Pearson.
Yeah, they're holding him down a little bit. For a while there was shirts and skins. It was wild. All right, this is a 1-on-1. Both teams in the bonus now.
Smith, a 49% free throw shooter on the season.
Well, I guess you'd say they found the right guy then.
Ronnie Clark checks back in. He broke his thumb back in January. Did not score against UNLV. Robinson is out. LaFonte Johnson's out. Vince Booker's back in for UNLV.
Still no Dalron Johnson, though.
Smith. And the lead is back to 4. 4:32 to go.
Excuse me, Dave. Transfer from North Dakota State College. Young ball club, as you mentioned.
He's got 1 of 2. Pearson on the rebound. Kelly sat down with those 2 fouls. Johnson, with those 2 out, a lot of the offensive responsibility falls into the hands of Banks, number 3. There's Richardson backing in on Smith. Bigby into the lane. Finds Omari Pearson, and Pearson's foul.
Oh, that was a great job of penetrating and dishing. Rebels can cut it to a deuce.
Clark with the personal.
Here it is. Watch the cut. Somebody comes over to jump him. Pass off. Well done.
Pearson, a 47% free throw shooter, hadn't been there a whole lot. This would be just his 33rd foul shot of the year. Sophomore out of Maywood, Illinois. He didn't score against the Rams last time out, and he scored tonight. 1 point for Omari Pearson. Spoonhour will go home for the last 3 games of conference play, and then he'll host the tournament.
No, UNLV wasn't in the tournament last year. Everywhere I go, people are talking about UNLV, how tough they're going to be in this tournament. I believe it.
1 of 2 for Pearson. More full court pressure. Clark avoids a quick turnover. He's got that right thumb all bandaged up. Burley loses it out of bounds. Did the Rebels touch it?
That's good defense. Let's see what they've got here.
And the Rams will have the ball.
Well, I'll tell you, one official went the other way, but they didn't see it.
Timeout, 3:50 to play in the first half. It's Colorado State 32, UNLV 29. 60-57, their only conference win of the year.
If I'm Charlie Spoonhauer, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm being outshot 54% to 40%. Rams have 4 more field goals. They're out rebounding the Rebels, and yet it's a 3-point game. They force some turnovers. They've hit their free throws.
The Rams have the ball, 18 seconds on the shot clock. Green, guarded by Bigby. Williams and Richardson together. Green from the baseline. He's missed on his last couple of efforts. He's got the ball again. Finds Ronnie Clark. And Clark is fouled by Banks.
Clark's a strong kid, too. Another one of the transfers. They got a guy, Chris Morris was a great player at Auburn and played in the pros. His kid is already committed and is signed here. All right, here's Clark, goes up and he gets fouled.
Number 1 on Banks.
If this ball club is going to do anything down the stretch, they need Clark to really play. Broken thumb or no broken thumb.
Really tough to shoot free throws when your right thumb is all bandaged up. Missed the first, gets the second. The lead is back to 4. Booker. Saw a lane. Clark swatted it away. UNLV leads the conference in blocked shots, but tonight it's from Colorado State. Burley. Now it's Williams driving on Richardson, drives right past him, loses the ball. It's last touched by the Rebels.
All right, Amundsen will hustle in, see if they get him before
Colorado State has already scored more points in this first half than any half this season. Rakeski is back in for the Rams. Richardson's out for Amundsen. And Williams will sit down for the Rams. 3:04 to play. Burley.
You know, more teams now are playing man than the inbounds. It used to be automatic, it was a zone. They don't want people cutting through. Now they're going man.
Clark, turnaround shot is good. Defense left him alone.
Yeah, he's got a chance to be a big-time ball player. He needs to play effectively, as I mentioned. All right, crowd getting into it. Lead back to 6. Every time they get a big lead, they being CSU, Banks jumps up and knocks one down.
Banks has the ball now. Shakes off Burley. Spins. Looks for Pearson.
Well, this guy's got some ability. Assist is every bit as important as a bucket.
Burley to Green. Green driving around the defense. Is fouled. A wild shot by Green, but he'll be saved by the foul on Amundsen.
He had no angle at all, Dave. Take a look at this angle. See if you can make this shot at home. He has no angle at all. And he gets bailed out with the call, so he'll go the line.
Number 2 on Amundsen, and Green is a 75% free throw shooter. Struggled to. The team had a virus last week, kept a whole bunch of them from even practicing, and Green included. He's starting to feel better, and he knocks down the first. Green 9 points. He's got 10. He loves playing UNLV. The lead back to 6.
The great thing about this is the 8th place team playing number 1 in the tournament. Is this a great country? Are we going to have a great tournament?
It's going to be a great
This is not
tournament.
a bad last place ball club, I'm telling you.
Pearson to Booker. Good help defense by Colorado State. Ball knocked out of bounds. Matt Brown aggressive on the defensive end. 20 games in a row into double figures for Brian Green. Oh, that's offense. Booker just laid his forearm into Matt Brown. And the Rams can extend their lead to 8, which would be their largest of the half. Minute 56 to go. Oh, no question about that.
Got it pretty good, didn't he? With a spoon. Here it is. Let's pick this up now. Brown comes over, sacrifices the body. He was set, so it was legal. Got to stop when you make contact.
Brown 42% from the stripe. Perfect tonight, 1 for 1. His season high 13 against Washington State. He didn't score a whole lot. Scored just 2 against the Rebels last month.
Southern Idaho Junior College. He's a big track man at high school. Big sleeve tonight.
39-31. Still no Lou Kelly and no Dalron Johnson for UNLV. Booker, Pearson. Shot no good. Volleyball up there for Amundsen. After about 4 tries, Amundsen gets it back. Now it's Booker. Changes his shot in flight. Tipped again. This time the Rams come out with it.
Boy, I tell you, Amundsen was a man on those backboards. They don't get one. Crowd appreciates it. 123. See if they use a little clock and keep it a 2-for-1 possession situation here.
Bigby knocks the ball out of bounds. I'm surprised that UNLV's guards are passing on the open jump shots to go inside and challenge the much taller Rams. And it's a bet they've been losing this entire first half.
Well, the Rams are taller and they're heavier too.
Burley into Green. Now it's Burley. He passed on the 3, open for just a second. And they'll get Green to drive on Amundsen. Now from the baseline, Clark can't hit. Banks rebounds.
You get a 2-for-1 if you shoot it quick. There's the holes. A couple of pitches coming.
57 seconds to play. That was 1-on-4, and Banks was not going to stop. Burley picks up his first.
Let me correct myself. It's 10 team fouls on the Rebels, 9 on the Rams. So this is a one-on-one. Got to make the first one if you want that second opportunity.
Free throws are what's kept UNLV in this game.
And every game that's tight always comes down to 2 things. The coaches take over. There's one loss at the line. The last 5 minutes of a college basketball game usually takes about 5 hours.
Not when you were ref, and you kept it going. Kept the pace up. Banks hits the first. 39-32. And 10 points tonight for Marcus Banks. Look at the 5 Rebels on the floor. Banks with 11. Then it goes 3-2, 0, and 0. 6-point Colorado State lead. They break the press easily. Wiekeski tried to feed Brown for a dunk and turns it over. And Charlie Spoonhour wants a 30-second timeout. He's going to take it here.
Hey, that was a big possession. Come down and throw it away. Rebels come down. If they shoot quick, you could get another opportunity. 50 seconds left.
BYU is at home tonight against Air Force. BYU and UNLV are tied for 3rd place. Over in Laramie, the Cowboys and Aztecs are going at it. And then later on tonight in Salt Lake City, in addition to the Olympics, you've got the Utes at home against New Mexico.
And Rick Majerus missed last game. He had a bronchial infection. Had New Mexico and BYU Saturday. New Mexico had a 10-point lead in that game. You should take a look at the standings kind of late in the game. You're trying to figure out what the matchups will be for the tournament.
3rd place will play the 6th place team. It would be UNLV San Diego State if the tournament were tomorrow, provided that UNLV would win the tiebreaker with BYU. They split the series, but here's Booker. Shot no good. Battle for the rebound.
It should be last shot.
Wyoming or Utah, UNLV's victory over Utah may prove to be the tiebreaker because the Utes and Cougars still have to play, and UNLV and Utah are done with their series. So we'll see how it shakes down. BYU would have the advantage because they will have done no worse than split with Wyoming. It'll shake out the next couple of weeks because the Cougars have to come here to Fort Collins and over to Laramie. They've got Utah in Provo. The Rebels have a real advantage down the stretch with San Diego State, although they're playing very well, and New Mexico and Air Force, but all at home.
And they're tough at home. Hey, look, they beat Utah. At Utah the Saturday before they went into UNLV. That's the best defense I've seen on the road this year. They took apart San Diego State. San Diego State, Dave, has 4 guys who can score. I don't see anybody else that has 4 that can score. We look forward to this tournament.
33.6 to play. 6-point Colorado State lead. Nearly a full shot clock.
Boy, Emerson almost stole it.
Green picks up his dribble, hands it over to Burley. Shot clock is on, but it's so close, likely not to matter. Rikeski, he almost turned it over. Now Burley, junior out of Battleground, Washington. He'll set up for the last shot. Green, 10 seconds to go. Green on Amundsen, falling away. Shot no good. Amundsen with the rebound. The Rebels will have time to get the shot off. Bigby got it.
Oh, that's a 3.
A 3-pointer.
How big is that?
As halftime arrives in Moby Arena. The Rebels sluggish throughout, but they leave with a little zip as Lamar Bigby nails a 3-pointer at the buzzer. And it's Colorado State 39, UNLV 36 here at halftime. On the road in Laramie, San Diego State is laying a whooping on the Cowboys, 41-25 at halftime. Keep the Aztecs in mind. If they were to win, they'd go to 5-6, and they come to Las Vegas Saturday night in what figures to be a great matchup, and suddenly the Aztecs could be in 3rd place.
Well, keep in mind, Steve Fisher is one of 12 active coaches that has won a national championship. He did that when he was at Michigan, and he knows what it's about.
Nelson, the big fella, gets it to start the second half. He misses the short shot. It's off of Dalron Johnson. For UNLV, Richardson, Kelly, Johnson, Banks, and Booker. And for the Rams, Burley, Green, Nelson, Williams, and Macklin. Green, they clear out. He lobs it inside. It's Richardson up over the back of the big 7-footer.
It looked like the tough man contest.
Not much more Richardson can do. It's his 2nd foul. He's just 185 pounds and 6'6". He's defending the 7-foot, 220-pounder as Burley launches a bomb. Here comes Macklin to follow. A handful of shots for the Rams to start this second half, and none of them go down. And Banks takes it all the way in.
Let's see if they got him outside.
If he's in the NBA, it's good, but he's not.
It's good when you get off the bus in the NBA.
He'll get 2 free throws. Nope, ball out of bounds before the shot.
Coast to coast, this guy's pretty good in the broken court. Strong.
Number 3 on Macklin. Banks. Nifty way to get the ball in bounds, but it works. Again, Johnson 0 for 3. Finds Kelly wide open. Kelly goes back to Johnson.
First bucket.
And it's a 1-point game.
Rebels look good. Look like they got a lot of energy. Bouncing their legs. I think that shot by Bigby was huge. Into the half.
Macklin finds a lane to the basket.
Hard drive. Boy, that kid's pretty good, isn't he?
Joe Macklin at 5'11", right in there and stuck it in. Lead back to 3.
One of the things that makes this a very winnable game for UNLV on the road is not much crowd action.
Shot clock did not reset. Richardson's going to beat it anyway.
They don't need a shot clock, do they?
41-40.
You know, a guy in this league is the reason we have a shot clock. Don Haskins, they used to be in the league, used to give the ball to Tiny Archibald. He'd dribble around for 5 minutes. Couldn't get it away from him.
Brian Green to Macklin. And Macklin does what Tony Archibald did very well. Finds the big guy.
Can't emphasize enough how much you need penetration, because somebody always jumps you and then you just pass.
Johnson or Richardson. A rare outside shot. It's an air ball.
High low, high low.
Here's Macklin for a long three.
Oh, he's come out smoking.
6-point lead.
That's his second bucket. Got a layup, now the three. Now he's really getting fired up, getting his teammates going, showing some leadership.
Kelly throws it away. And the Rebels came out with a bit of a run, and the Rams have answered.
Well, Macklin kind of broke their will with a couple of plays. He's got the basketball now. Good covered by Booker.
Burley and Booker. And Burley throws it away. And last touched by Nelson. Now do we have an override? And we do. The Rams will keep it. A couple times tonight we've seen different calls from the officials.
Well, this is Lonnie Dixon's L. As you take a look at Dale Layer. He has one of the top winning percentages in the nation.
Inbounds pass stolen by Richardson.
He coached Eckerd. He's from Eckerd College. Coached at Queens College.
Kelly for three. Banks tips it in.
Terrific effort. Strong, good balance.
13 points for Marcus Banks. And the Rams turn it right back over. Macklin and Burley couldn't get on the same page. This one's a close one, but it won't win any beauty contest tonight.
Well, there's very little enthusiasm. You got to get after people with your crowd. Just not happening.
Macklin is out. Smith is in for Colorado State. Kelly. Richardson. Now it's Johnson. Booker open for three. Tipped into the hands of Green. UNLV was just miserable from beyond the arc against Wyoming until the final minutes when they started to heat up. And Burley. Up top, Green. 7-footer. Shot no good from Nelson. Rebels come running.
Nice.
Lou Kelly.
Oh, was that a sweet pass? Man, that was gift wrap.
The Rebels are back within 2.
The running Rebels.
Kelly with 9 points. Green to Nelson. Right back to Green. Another close miss.
Can tie.
And the Rebels come out with some hustle again.
That's Williams' foul. That's team foul number 2 on the Rams.
Second foul on Williams.
What if the Rebels played up here mile high? Look at this. Would they run teams into the ground? Sweet Lou.
Timeout. 15:26 to play. And Colorado State leads 46-44. And 20th meeting between these two. UNLV surprisingly 6-3 here in Fort Collins. Of the game, watch for the AT&T Most Valuable Player, presented by AT&T Wireless Services. Dave McCann, Eric Brown, nice to have you with us here on Las Vegas 1. Thanks to Renee Carlson and Nick Kiger for keeping us straight here at the table. Banks with 13 points and Green with 10. Green hasn't scored here in the second half.
Hadn't had a lot of looks. UNLV's played pretty good defense. Macklin came out, looked like he was going to lead his ball club to a pretty good run, and right back at him came the Rebels. When they're running and handling the ball, they run all the time. When they're handling, they didn't handle it at Wyoming. They handled it against Utah.
Kelly for three. And it took the tour, went down, and gave UNLV a 1-point lead. So it's a 7-0 run for the Rebels.
And Dave, how big was Bigsby's shot at the end of the half? Gave him some confidence, some momentum.
Ernest Turner into the game for UNLV. Turner trying to keep up with Freddie Robinson. 12 seconds on the shot clock. The Rams will maintain possession of the ball.
Freddie Robinson is a freshman from Tulsa. McDonald's All-American. He's got some athleticism.
Burley back to Robinson. 6 ties, 8 lead changes in this one. Banks with the steal. Banks outruns Green.
Yes,
Followed by Kelly.
That's why you hustle. That's why you hustle and you never give up. It was a tough angle for Banks. He created it, though, and the Rebels with their biggest lead.
49-46. Clark. Colorado State now a bit hesitant with the long ball.
And remember, if you haven't won much, you're not used to it. And sometimes you don't believe, and you wonder if CSU believes they can win a basketball game. Here's a push.
Turner hanging on to Robinson. As we look at that follow dunk again, Irv.
Well, once again, this guy causes it. It's a tough angle because Green really hustles, but one other guy's hustling. Sweet Luke Kelly.
Kelly with 14 points. He leads the Rebels. Banks has 13. Here's Macklin. Macklin really got him going offensively to start the second half. He's back in the game to try and do the same.
Good help defense.
Burley, long shot. Green on the rebound. Runs into Dowron Johnson and gets the roll.
That's his first bucket of the half. CSU needed that one. They're down a point now.
12 points for Brian Green. Banks is going to get hit with 5 seconds here, and he moves across and breaks the timing. Now it's Richardson. Kelly and Green. Pretty good matchup. Turner regroups, gets his own rebound, and misses again. He was standing in there with 5 players, all trying to stop him. Now it's Green. Clark. Back to Green. This time he doesn't get the roll. Johnson on the rebound. Rebels by 1.
It's some tired people.
Richardson, shot blocked. Matt Nelson stared him down and stole the ball away. Now it's Macklin. Rams trying to drum up some momentum.
Well, Macklin's been the offense. Nice pass.
Burley.
Give credit to Green with the assist. 1 point lead now.
Burley with 6. It's 50-49. Now it's Banks looking for a lane. Finds Dowron Johnson. Shot no good. Johnson stays with it. Here comes Luke Kelly falling away. Kelly's foul.
Foul should come before the shot. That'll be team foul number 3 on the Rebels.
That's the second foul on Ronnie Clark. Pearson and LaFonte Johnson are in. Marcus Banks checks out. And Chris Richardson is out for UNLV. And Rakeski returns and Burley sits down. So Smith and Burley enter the game for the Rams. Johnson, Turner. Turner a bit wild with the ball, but he draws another foul.
It looked like he might have carried it, but the hand really wasn't underneath, and that's what determines it. So the foul.
Rakeski.
Foul 4, excuse me.
Sorry, Rakeski's second personal foul. And the Rebels with the ball down 1. A fresh 35 on the shot clock. Kelly.
They lost it.
He had LaFonte Johnson spotting open for 3 at the top of the key. Went inside to Dowron, and Dowron Johnson wasn't thinking about it. And it's a turnover. Green. Hands it over to Clark. Now Rakeski.
Good defense.
Smith, great look. And the foul.
Well, they played hard defense, but CSU stayed with it. They must have passed the basketball 8 times. Get it inside, get a hoop. They're up by 3 with a pitch coming. Let's pick it up. Boy, they moved it around. And then finally there was a breakdown.
Number 2 on Pearson.
One more time, if you pass the ball, sometimes people turn their head. That's, people say, why is Texas Tech winning? Because they set hard picks and they pass the basketball and get good shots.
3-point play. And with 11:45 to go, the Rams are back in the lead, 53-49. The Rebels made their run, and Colorado State has countered with one of their own. UNLV has the ball. The Rebels had a 49-46 lead. See the run there. This Sports West College basketball presentation is brought to you in part by Delta. Everyone has a reason to see somebody person to person. That's the reason Delta flies. Johnson trying to get his offense going. He does just that.
He's looking down on the bucket. That's why he shoots it flat, gets a roll. 2-point game.
4 points for Johnson.
Chin it. Chin it. Side, top side. Keep working. Work you.
Now Rakeski looking into Smith.
Brody. Side, top side.
This time they get Smith. Big play. Well, he scored right over Pearson a moment ago and got the foul, and he's done it again.
Big play for Montani Smith. It's only his 2nd bucket of the game, but this is huge because he's got a chance to tack one on. Spins inside, does a good job with the left arm, little chicken wing, ward somebody off to give his ball club a 5-point lead.
Green sits down and Matt Brown checks in. So Green perhaps resting up for the stretch run. And Smith can't convert on the 3-point play. The Ram lead is 4. Johnson to Turner, back to Pearson. And Omari Pearson makes up for what he did on the defensive end, and he gets the Rebels back within 2.
That wasn't an easy shot. He did a terrific job.
Rakeski trying to shake Turner. He does.
That's a charge.
What a shot.
Boy, that kid hung in there pretty good. Took the charge, didn't get rewarded.
John Rakeski out of Fruita, Colorado. All-time leading scorer there at his high school. He took his top shot.
Dave, he can streak with the best of them.
LaFonte Johnson puts one up under duress. Tough shot to take with Kelly and Dalron Johnson on the floor. Easy shots missed by the Rams. Rakeski. This time rebound by Pearson, and we've got a foul on the Rams over the back.
Yeah. And that's team foul number 5 on CSU. The Rebels have committed 4.
Smith hit with the foul, and that's his first. And Booker and Banks check back in for UNLV.
Here's Rakeski on this solid drive. That looked like a charge. And then he take another look, and he kind of veered off.
It was a great shot.
Yeah. This guy's pretty good.
LaFonte Johnson and Turner are out for the Rebels.
Well, look at them lean on each other on the post.
See if Banks caught his 2nd win. Booker to Dalron Johnson for 3 at the top of the key. Thought about going in. Pearson loses it, taking it back up, and it's knocked out of bounds off the hands of Smith. And the lead stays 4 with 9:35 to go. This was a slugfest when they met in Las Vegas. UNLV won by 7. Same kind of game here.
We got one inside here. Let's see what this is all about. Richard Ball with the call.
And he's called Matt Brown with a foul.
Well, Brown's been holding pretty good at the top of the key. He's been working Johnson over.
First foul on Brown. Fresh 35 for UNLV. The lob for Banks. That's tough inside there. Those long arms were just waiting for the ball to come up. the baseline.
He's really contributed, hasn't he?
Sure has. 6 points for Smith. The lead back to 6. And Spoonhour wants a 30-second timeout. .9:03 to play.
Smith has really come out and helped his ball club in the second half. He had a shot just a moment ago, and here from the corner, you always get a little different look, and a good look.
6 points for Smith. That's the most he's had in 6 games. While we have a moment, let me tell you how you can win a new truck, a 2002 Dodge Ram. Go to our website, GoSportsWest.com, and click on the picture of the Ram truck for entry instructions and contest rules. That picture will look just like that. We'll announce the winner during Sports West coverage of the Mountain West Conference Basketball Championships here in a couple of weeks. So log on to GoSportsWest.com and enter tonight for your chance to win a 2002 Dodge Ram from Sports West. And Dodge, grab life by the horns.
Well, we'll see if UNLV can come right back at him. Nobody has been able to shake either team. Looks like one team will pull away, and then the other ball club comes right back with a good little run of their own. UNLV had a 4-point lead at one time, if I remember right.
They came out and took one.
See the boards. UNLV's hung in there pretty good on the backboards against some bigger ball club.
Hope you've had a wonderful President's Day holiday. And we're capping it off with a showdown here in the Mountain West. Colorado State 1-8 in the conference, 6-5 here at home. And the Rebels 5-5 in the Mountain West, 3-6 on the road. This is UNLV's 5th game in their last 10 days. Charlie Spoonhour attributes much of that to the schedule in December at the Thomas & Mack Center with the rodeo and Disney on Ice, a couple of those other events which pushed the basketball team out of town.
This guy, Wes Sargent's my idol. He hit the lottery.
What's he doing here tonight?
I don't know.
Johnson, jump shot is in and out.
Look at
Amundsen got 2 hands on it, brings it out.
Boy, is that huge if this goes.
Booker for 3.
Hey, give that kid, the punk, the freshman kid, all the credit in the world. Just a pup. Amundsen made it go.
Full court pressure. Smith picks up his dribble. Now it's Burley. And they beat the 10-second count by 2 seconds. Burley shakes Banks. Now to Smith. Crowd starting to get in it. 7 of 12 from 3 for UNLV. Colorado State 4 of 8.
There's a hold.
After all the banging we've seen the last couple of minutes, Marcus Banks gets hit for a hold at the top of the key. That's number 2 on Banks.
And 5 on the Rebels. Can't say enough for what Amundsen did. That young pup went up, got a huge offensive rebound, kept it alive, and the Rebels are within 3 because of his effort.
Burley is trying to shake Banks. That'll be a tough assignment. Here's Smith. He rolled right past Amundsen and earned a trip to the free throw line.
Well, he beat him to the turn, and then Amundsen with the foul. You got to cut him off at the baseline. Here it is. Watch the baseline. This is what the game's all about. The only guy I've ever seen who could let you do that consistently, New Mexico, when Bob Keane coached, he would funnel him to the baseline, Dave, and then a shot blocker like Mel Daniels would come over and swat it into road triple E.
3rd on Amundsen. Smith hits the free throw as Green and Macklin, the big guns, return for Colorado State. Bob King did so well they named the court after him. There at the pit.
Hey, he's the guy who saved Larry Bird's career. He went to Indiana State. Bird was on a trash truck making about $10 an hour in French Lick, Indiana. King went and got him. The rest is history.
5-point Colorado State lead. Banks. This time he's held up. And it's Macklin. And that should be number 4 on Macklin. And they can't afford to lose him.
Here it is. Once again, he's as strong as anybody in this league from the guard spot. He just makes it very tough.
Could have been against Green. Green got his hand in there, but it's Macklin. He'll go right to the bench with number 4. Robinson is in. Burley will check in, and Rakeski will sit down. So Dale Air making a couple of substitutions with 7:58 to go. Banks is at the free throw line. He's been pretty effective from there so far tonight.
Well, he's 6 for 6. He gets there a lot because he's always driving. Well, I say that in the jinx him.
Rebound, Colorado State. The Rams can convert here. That'll prove to be a very big miss.
Well, the big guy is the one with the ball, Smith. He's been terrific in the second half.
Robinson. UNLV has done a nice job defending Green, but it's been Smith and that matchup with Amundsen that has worked in the Rams' favor. Long three, Robinson. Kelly on the rebound.
Oh, they had the numbers. Didn't see it. All right, let's see if they keep it spread. Beat them on the dribble.
Banks waits for Johnson. Now he drives in, drives past everybody, misses the shot, gets his follow, and he's fouled.
It's even better for UNLV, though, because now you got a free throw coming.
I think Banks is tired, flat on his back there in the under the basket. He earns a shot at a three-point play.
Kept the dribble alive, a la Gus Williams, and then he goes back up and gets it. Clark rolled an ankle on that play. He's coming out. He's limping a little bit.
Smith goes out with him.
Can cut it to a deuce.
Nelson and Williams are back in. Dallaire, tired of seeing UNLV's 6'1" point guard dominating down on the block, so he's put his 7-footer back in. And Banks converts on the free throw and pulls UNLV within 2 with 7:07 to go. Don't go anywhere. It's getting close. We're back after a message from your local station. Show with Channel 8's Chris Matthews and Ron Kentowski of the Las Vegas Sun. That's coming up right after this on Las Vegas 1.
The Rebels are shooting 40%. This man's ball club shooting 48%. We haven't decided anything. They've been going at each other all night long. 2-point game.
Full court pressure, and the Rams beat it. Williams harassed by Booker and Banks. Green. Robinson missed a three from there a moment ago. He's not about to shoot it again. Now in the hands of Burley. Nelson and Amundsen, the matchup. Green up over Lou Kelly. And Brian Green, just his second basket of the second half. He's up to 14 points.
Yeah, they've done a good job defensively on him, but he's so strong in the blocks.
Now the crowd calling for a defensive stand. Banks loses his footing. He hits the floor hard, and he's fouled. Foul on Freddie Robinson.
He finds a seam as good as anybody. You want to teach your kids to explode like this if you're coaching them.
Number 2 on Robinson. Banks to the free throw line.
They've got team fouls. No, it's not. I beg your pardon. This could be huge because the Rebels will be shooting 2 the next one.
Banks, junior college All-American at Dixie, wanted by everybody. Want to stay home, play for his parents at UNLV.
Did UNLV recruit him out of high school?
Signed him out of high school. And he had to go to Dixie, do a little academic work, pick up his 2-year degree.
He's got the whole package. He can shoot from the outside. He can beat you on the dribble. And he can cover.
Lead back to 2. Williams suddenly with numbers. To Nelson. Missed the dunk. Was he fouled? And he was.
Remember, you can hang on the rim to protect yourself. He missed an easy one.
Number 2 on Vince Booker.
There it is. One of the best coaches we've ever had in this country, Ralph Miller, would not let his people dunk. That's an easy one. He's up there over the rim and he's 7 foot. Couldn't finish. Pretty good free throw shooter.
80%. And the lead is back to 3.
I don't see too many 7-footers with a touch like that, do you?
Not too many. Don't see too many 7-footers. UNLV would love to see a 7-footer. Williams rebounds and he's fouled.
Oh, what a huge play. Remember that one with 6:08 left. UNLV doesn't block out. They didn't body this kid, and he goes up and gets a big one. 5-point lead.
Number 4 on Amundsen. What a breakdown for the Rebels.
Watch this stick back. Ball comes out. And UNLV just gets out hustled right here. Amundsen with the foul.
Big bucket for Matt Williams out of Temple, Texas, which isn't too far outside of Austin. One of those young players that Dale Ayres is going to have around for a long time. He converts from the three-point play. What a big one that is. Now the lead 6.
Up to now, it's the biggest play of the game, except for Bigby's effort near the end of the half.
Banks to Johnson. Booker right back into Johnson. Hands it to Richardson. And Richardson's fouled. And it's Nelson. And that's the third on Nelson.
And UNLV just won't go away. Crowd was up for that one. And the Rebels come right back, get somebody at the line. Here it is. Watch the pass.
Richardson, a bit surprised to get the ball. Regrouped in time to earn a foul.
Well, you might be better off if you make both the pitches because it gets the foul count up to 10. That means these are, from here on in, every shot is a 2-shot foul.
First shot is good for Richardson. Started the game with 4 quick points. He now has 7. His last shot was an air ball, so he's got to feel good about knocking down a couple of free throws. And he does.
All right, here's the press.
5:53 to go. 4-point Ram lead. This press gave Wyoming fits. Williams. Now it's Burley.
He handles the ball pretty good. Once again, he's a gym rat, coach's kid. He'll end up being a coach.
Burley to Williams. Williams lost it, regained it, and it goes right to Green.
Well, it's just Williams contributed. He had the big 3-point play a moment ago. Now with a nice assist to Green.
Banks out with the Timbers, kicks it to Booker for 3. Huge. And Cheyenne graduate knocks it down, gets the Rebels within 3.
It shows you if you believe you can play, walk on someplace. This guy wasn't worried about a scholarship, walked on, earned one.
He hit the game-winning shot to beat BYU at the Thomas and Mack a week and a half ago or so. Loose ball, Williams and Richardson.
Well, they got a timeout.
Timeout called. Interesting, the official furthest away from the ball blew his whistle to signal the timeout, and there were 2 right next to the players who hadn't called anything. But it's a break for the Rams because they were in duress.
Yeah. 5 minutes on the nose.
3-point game, 69-66. Close games have not been terribly friendly for Colorado State and for UNLV for that matter. They lost a close one Saturday at Wyoming. Nissan presents the drive of the game. Nissan driven. Now here it is, the Nissan drive of the game. Actually, we'll show you that drive a bit later on. Perhaps that drive's yet to occur. 69-66.
Here's the foul count, 10 on the Rams. That means the Rebels are shooting 2 here on in. UNLV still has 1 to give. They're at 8. That's like a parachute. You got 2 free throws for sure when you're at 10.
18 seconds on the shot clock.
UNLV will really come out and pressure hard now. This is what Spoon does. They work hard.
Burley is fouled by Booker. And that's Booker's 3rd.
This will be a 1-on-1.
And Burley will get some free throws. Burley's an excellent free throw shooter at 80%.
Here it is one more time. And the foul before the shot.
Nissan introduces the totally new Altima, available in either 4-cylinder or V6, the cure for the common car. Nissan driven. Burley's free throw, no good. A rare miss by Andy Burley.
Boy, they're going coast to coast quick with this guy.
Banks with the left hand, followed by Johnson. Another follow, and the Rebels are within 1.
All offensive rebounding is his desire, and you saw Johnson's desire there.
6 points for Johnson, and a foul on Colorado State's Brian Green.
Yeah, and the Rebels can take the lead. It looked for a moment when Williams went wild, like CSU was going to blow it open. UNLV refuses to quit. I'm going to go back to Amundsen's play. The young guy kept an offensive board alive. Banks knocked down a long jumper. Macklin's going to have to come back in.
And on the foul on Brian Green, there will be free throws coming up for Vince Booker. And Booker, 74% from the stripe. He has a chance to tie and give UNLV the lead. This is the first. Macklin checks in with those 4 fouls, and Robinson will sit down for the Rams. Colorado State travels to New Mexico on Saturday. UNLV is home for San Diego State.
That'll be a heck of a game. We haven't got an update yet on San Diego State. Wyoming. They were up 15.5.
Booker gets 1 of 2, ties the game at 69 with 4:36 to go.
Here's the press. It's a pretty good one. There's a lot of quickness out there in the red. They beat it here.
Macklin now with the numbers. The quick hands of Johnson steals it away.
There's a reason why they lead this conference in steals. They really work on it.
UNLV trying to get Luke Kelly open for 3. They missed him. The Banks will back it out and run the offense. Now it's Booker. Kelly for 3. And the foul.
3 shots, too.
He'll get 3 from the free throw line. Luke Kelly is fouled by Williams. And Luke Kelly, pretty effective free throw shooter. He has a chance to give UNLV the lead with 4:06 to play.
They worked hard to get him this shot. And here's the foul.
Hit him on the elbow.
Yep.
For Williams, that's his 3rd. Kelly gives UNLV the lead, 70-69.
Boy, it's a killer when all you do is sit and watch him knock him down. Biggest lead of the evening for UNLV is 4.
And now it is 3. The Rebels, 10th lead change. It is 69-63. It's a 9-0 UNLV run.
Patient, get it inside. Keep his hands off. Patient.
And like so many of their recent games, it has all started with defense. Now Macklin looks up the shot clock, 15 seconds there. Burley open for 3, and Burley ties the game. Booker fell down, and that left Burley open.
And he is a tremendous outside shooter. Now the crowd getting involved again. There it is. He's done this all day long.
Nelson rebounds.
Hard penetration. Didn't get the foul this time.
Macklin has it swiped away by Banks and out of bounds. 3:17 to play, and we have a timeout on the floor. UNLV 72, Colorado State 72. Just like we expect here in the Mountain West. Here it is, the Nissan drive of the game. And a lot of Rams are going to touch the basketball on this exchange.
Yeah, they volleyball this baby around pretty good. And then we'll pick it up at the other end. Here's Burley. There's the dish. And here's Nelson. Big 7-footer. You know, when you grow a lot, people say, boy, that didn't look very athletic. How'd you like to grow 3-4 inches every year? You know, you got to catch up with things. UNLV led by 3 a moment ago. Burley knocked down a 3.
Burley's got the ball here, guarded by Booker. Every possession now so very critical. Nelson has it swatted away by Johnson, but it's Williams with the dunk.
Boy, she contributed.
The Rams retake the lead. Banks looking for a lane. Goes to Kelly for 3. Had a good line on it, too hard. Williams on the rebound. Well, Williams is everywhere. Green into the big fella, Nelson, turning on Johnson, and he's fouled.
Very tough to handle when he gets it deep in the blocks. He's a pretty good free throw shooter. He had 1 or 2 the last time, but that miss set up Williams' 3-point effort. Here it is. This is a 7-footer. Dave, if you could have seen him last year, you'd have said, who owed this guy a favor? Why did anybody recruit him? They worked with him. They worked hard. Now it's just a matter of experience. Gain a little weight. 7-footer and shoot.
Freshman. Didn't play against UNLV, so this is the first time the Rebels have had to deal with him. Williams sits down.
Well, he did a job. This kid has missed his last 2 now.
Makes the second. Freddie Robinson back into the game. Now it's a 3-point Ram lead. A lot of free throws shot tonight by these two teams.
Here's a guy who causes problems. He penetrates. He can keep the dribble alive. And not many guys that can do it. The best I've ever seen was Gus Wing. Well, he gets fouled right there. Beats him to the turn.
Burley fouls Banks. Number 2 on Burley. Banks will go to the free throw line.
It's a 2-shot foul coming.
Williams is getting ready to check back in for Dale Air.
That was a long rest, 7 seconds.
You know you're needed when you sit down for 7 seconds. Marcus Banks with 18 points.
This guy at the free throw line is as tough a matchup as anybody in this league. You always think the Johnsons of Utah are tough, but this guy is really tough because of his speed and his strength. Plus, if you back off, you'll jump up and knock down a 3.
Robinson's back out. Williams back into the game. Banks can pull UNLV within 1.
And he's in his office. He's been there all night long because he drives. He makes the officials make a call. All 3 of these are, well, he missed one.
Kept alive, and Lou Kelly is fouled by Macklin. And that's number 5 on Macklin. And the Rams lose a very big weapon here late in the game. And Kelly can actually tie the game at the free throw line.
That's 5 fouls. Well, once again, now, the people are unhappy, but the Rams don't do a job on the backboard.
Well, there's the slap right there.
Yeah, it's a foul. All 3 of these officials do what you're supposed to do. They referee the defense. That's what a good official does. You don't referee the offense. You referee the defense, and the foul was there. So the missed free throw actually gives the Rebels a chance to tie with 2:16 left.
So Macklin is out, and Rakeski will replace him with 2:16 to go.
Well, you lose your ball handler down the stretch. That means Burley's got to take over those duties.
Kelly at the free throw line. Kelly has 17 points. Well, as costly as UNLV's air blocking out a few moments ago is this. If Kelly can hit his free throws, because Colorado State's inability to block out on the miss has given UNLV an extra possession. Kelly misses both. That doesn't happen too often. That's 3 straight misses from the stripe for UNLV. Now Kelly knocks it out of bounds. 24 on the shot clock, 2:04 on the game clock. And the Ram lead is 2. Been quite a road trip for UNLV. Very exciting finish in Laramie. Went the way of the Cowboys, but the Rebels had their chances indeed. And here they are again in another tight one. Green.
See if they go down low to the big kid. There
he is. It's blocked by Johnson. Stolen by Rakeski.
And Rakeski hadn't played that much. Gives his ball club a 4-point lead.
The irony of Rakeski stealing the ball from Banks. Banks leads the conference in steals. Banks takes it in, misses. Nelson rebounds. Here come the Rams.
They should slow it up. Let's see if they use a little clock.
Green hands it to Burley.
Remember, they lost their ball handler. So Burley will take over. Burley's very good dribbling with the left hand.
4-point Colorado State lead. Burley right past Banks, throws it away.
Whoa, big turnover with 1:10 left in the ball game. It should be Banks on penetration. Burley's got him. Banks is quicker. Spoon wants a timeout.
Timeout with 1:06 to go. We'll keep it right here. 77-73, Colorado State. UNLV with the possession, 31 seconds on the shot clock. As
Well,
we look ahead, Irv, with the Rebels, it gets a little easier because they're all at home. San Diego State on Saturday, and then Air Force, and then New Mexico.
Are they drawn?
No, but they're at home and they play better.
Yeah. Is it
Rebels are getting
BYU?
about 8, 9, 10,000 a game. For Colorado State, here's what's left. At New Mexico Saturday, and then over to Air Force. Boy, no one wants to go there. And then they're home for Utah and BYU, and those are winnable games here.
Yeah.
No question about it.
It says that BYU on Saturday usually draw big. With the Olympics and the President's Day, they only had 7,000. All right, here we go. Let's see if it's penetration with Banks. He'll keep the dribble alive.
1 minute to play.
Try and get a 3 by driving.
20 on the shot clock. Banks opts for a 3, and he nails it.
Oh, is he clutched? Need money. Give him the ball.
50 seconds to go. 1 point Colorado State lead.
Now UNLV will not let him spin it around for 30 seconds.
Rebels need a defensive stop. Banks fouls Burley. And that's the last guy you want to foul on the floor, even though he missed his last free throw.
But if you take a look at it, UNLV side, even if he makes 2, you can tie. You can't let him spin it around for 30 seconds and then have to come down and shoot one. All right, Dale Lair wants a timeout.
Third foul on Banks. Marcus leading everybody on the floor with 22 points, but that was not a foul that Charlie Spoonhour wanted.
No. And free throws have been an adventure the last few times. In fact, there have been some opportunities created by offensive rebounds.
Green leading the way for Colorado State with 16, half of what he scored against UNLV in Las Vegas. Burley has 11. Nelson has 11.
Yeah, but the player of the game's got to be number 3. This Banks is something.
You look at the numbers there. UNLV 21 of 27. The Rams 16 of 23. During crunch time, and we'll describe this as crunch time, this season Burley is 5 of 7 from the free throw line.
Well, he's a guy they'd like to have up there.
And there's no question Charlie Spoonhour reminded Richardson and Johnson to box out in the event there's a rebound. Burley hits. It's a 2-point Colorado State lead.
Get it right.
So you come down if he makes this one. If your CSU protect the perimeter, how do you get a 3-point shot? How do you get a 3-point shot? You throw it in the post and kick it right back out. For some reason, people have a heck of a time defending that.
3-point lead. Richardson. Johnson tips.
No
it's
good.
offensive goaltending.
You can't touch it on the lid. Scott Thornley takes it away. They missed an easy one.
Costly mistake.
Let's pick it up here now. The rule is simply this. You can't touch it when it's in the cylinder. That ball was off.
A tough break for the Rebels.
Here it is. Take a look. Is it off?
It's off.
It's off. That's not basket interference.
Burley
Goaltending.
struggles to get it in, and Clark's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line with his broken thumb, and a chance to make it a 2-possession game. So a bad break for UNLV on the tip in. It cost the Rebels 2 points.
He missed the layup, but then the stick back was legit. The ball was away. It's easy to sit here and call it.
On Saturday, it was a layup missed and a missed tip in that cost UNLV a chance at pulling even with 7 seconds to go. So here is Ronnie Clark, 75% free throw shooter. Thumbs all bandaged up, and he misses.
Well,
Now this one is even bigger.
Yeah, this is huge now. This makes it a 2-possession game.
Clark, just a sophomore. Second one is up and good. Substitution. Freddie Robinson's in for Clark.
You don't need a 3 here if you come down and get a deuce quick and call a timeout. Then you make a decision. Do you foul him right away or do you flop?
Here comes Banks. Rebels trail by 4.
He's going to go the hole.
Banks is in there, finds Richardson, and Richardson's fouled with 21 seconds to play. Richardson will get 2 free throws.
Clark's free throw was huge because it does make it a 2-possession game. Even if you make 2, if you foul right away, they can get that lead back up to 4. Here it is. There's the foul. So Richardson with a couple coming.
Big miss for the senior.
Free throws really hurt UNLV down the stretch.
Free throws kept them into the game until these final moments. They've missed 4 by my count. Clark's back into the game. Robinson's out. Richardson makes 1 of 2. It's a 3-point Colorado State lead. 21 seconds to go.
Now you got to foul him right away.
Ball is stolen by Banks. And he turned it over.
Boy, he did a great job with the pick, though, didn't he? Now, either you try and deny for 5 seconds. Let's take a quick look at this. Look at this effort, though, here. Just can't control it.
Timeout, Colorado State.
Well, this will let the Rebels set up their press. They're down 3. Need a pick or foul right away.
Banks nearly had the steal of the game, which would have given UNLV a chance to shoot a 3 to tie. But the Rams have possession. Shot clock is off, obviously. There's just 16.5 seconds to go. There's the timeout situation.
Here's the situation, too. CSU must watch their body balance. I've seen Spoon do this now. You flop and you look for the charge. You try and catch a break. You try and deny number 1, then you flop, then you must foul immediately.
Scenario very familiar to Saturday. UNLV needed a turnover, had a shot. They got the turnover, missed the shot to tie. Here they need a turnover and a shot to try and tie again.
Clark will inbound. He's got a broken thumb.
Clark's in some trouble. Gets it into Rakeski, and he's fouled immediately. About 1.5 seconds go off the clock.
Needs 1 or 2.
And Rakeski is a 67% free throw shooter. Hasn't been there a whole lot on the season. And Vince Booker is fouled out. 7 points for Vince Booker. Ten team fouls on both clubs, so Rakeski will get 2, and he really needs to just make 1 to make it a 2-possession game. Rebels threatening to go to 5 and 6 in the Mountain West. The Rams hoping to get their 2nd conference win of the season. They're off to their worst start in conference play in 21 years. Quite a flip-flop from Saturday. Wyoming is enjoying their best start in 20 years.
Yep.
And they're not separated by many miles. And they've played great games together. And as you mentioned earlier, if the tournament were tomorrow, Colorado State would play Wyoming for the 3rd time. So here's Rakeski, a 6'3" redshirt freshman out of Fruita, Colorado. Scored 2 points against the Rebels in Las Vegas. Very smooth, delivering his 8th point tonight.
And my guess is that CSU will put on a light press just to make the Rebels use a little time coming up the floor.
Rakeski gets them ball. Well, Colorado State has made the free throws they've had to make, and UNLV has missed the free throws they've had opportunities for.
Here's the light press, and the only reason you do that is to make them use a few seconds.
Lou Kelly driving all the way in, missed the dunk. Off of Colorado State.
7.4 seconds left.
And the Ram lead is 5. Banks to Johnson for a quick 3, and he's got it.
Still a ball game
with 4.8.
They just don't go away.
82-80.
They refuse to go away.
There'll be a quick foul.
Well, they're going to make them earn it at the line. They'll foul them quick. If they make 1 or 2, the Rebels got a chance to tie. But you got to, well, there's 4.8 seconds left. CSU will try and run away from them.
UNLV has put Bigby into the game. All Bigby does is make shots at the buzzer like we saw at the end of the first half. And he's in there for his speed on defense. And perhaps he'll be the one to get a Hail Mary shot with time winding out. 4.8 seconds to go. 82-80 Colorado State.
Once again, I've seen Dean Smith do this in this situation. You get somebody to run over a guy, they'll tell the official, we're going to set something. So they'll try and get him to run over somebody. You got to watch your body balance when you have a lead here.
A lot of speed in there with Bigby, Richardson, and Banks.
This team does lead the conference in steals. Spoon hadn't given up.
Clark will inbounds. They'll try to get the ball to Rakeski or Burley. They're looking at Burley, and they just do get it in. And a foul on Banks.
They patted him on the back for a while there.
And he looked at the official, said, I'm fouling him, and then he finally got the whistle.
It only used the second.
Sure.
That was good.
I'm not sure where. What's he looking at?
Actually, it looked like that's legal to move along the baseline.
They lost about a second here in the delay.
He says, hey,
like,
I'm
hey,
fouling
what's this? You need to punch him out?
All right, needs one or two to make it a one-possession game. To hit them both.
And it's over. First free throw is a high rainbow of a shot, and it goes down. Well, Bigby's out. So much for his last second heroics, and Ernest Turner is in. This free throw will seal it for Colorado State. And how bad does Dale Lair want this game sealed here? He's had a very frustrating season. And this is it. Johnson
get a shot off
to Kelly to tie. He's
got
fouled.
a three-point
He's
shot.
going to get 3 shots.
Can you believe it? Can you believe? And it is there. Let me tell you what. That foul was there. That's a mistake.
Lou Kelly's going to the free throw line with a chance to force overtime.
And there wasn't any question about it. You referee this at home. Crowd is booing. The kid shouldn't have come anywhere near. They could have won the ball game if he hits this.
Here come the free throws. Here, Kelly makes the first. He needs 2 more or it's over. Kelly makes the second. He needs this for overtime and a very improbable comeback. Oh, the pressure that's mounting. Kelly ties the game. UNLV's going to overtime with Colorado State, and this crowd is stunned.
That Richardson's came up and bumped that Kelly so hard he almost knocked him back 10 foot.
Fouled on a three-pointer from half court, and that just may have cost Colorado State the game. It indeed cost them the game in regulation, and Dale Lair cannot believe it.
All you got to do is stay away, make him make a launch. They don't do it. Once again, Burley missed the last part of the 2 shots he got. That gave UNLV a chance, and Kelly stepped up. Nobody on the line, never let it bother him.
Rakeski, the guilty party here, and look at this. Look at the clock.
All you got to do is stay away from him and make him make that launch, and there's no question he fouls him.
And Lou Kelly steps up and hits 3 pressure-filled free throws for the Runnin' Rebels. The 3rd overtime this season for Colorado State, which is a Moby Arena record.
Now you got to take a look at the foul counts.
Keep in mind, Colorado State has already lost Macklin. Oh, yeah. Officials just asking us to verify that on the replay, and indeed he was fouled. There was no question about it. Nope.
I got Macklin out of there with 5. You got Booker, who's out of there. I don't see anybody else with.
Dalron Johnson has 3.
Yeah.
Marcus Banks with 4. Rakeski has 4.
Yeah, Banks is the guy.
Ronnie Clark with 3. And Matt Nelson, the 7-footer, has 3.
2 things about this ballgame. Bigby hit one near the end of the half. Lou Kelly came through after UNLV had a horrible 3 minutes of free throw shooting. Kelly
Johnson out-jumps the 7-footer in overtime. Who has the momentum here? Lou Kelly wants the ball. Banks looks him off. Now Banks wants to drive traffic. Banks with 4 fouls. Looking for a lane. He steps back and misses the long jump shot. It's stolen by Richardson.
And it was clean. Fans don't like it, but it was clean. All basketball.
UNLV running some plays for Lou Kelly, number 15 in red. Now Banks. Richardson with the ball. Looks up at the shot clock, 15 seconds there. Banks and Burley, quite a matchup we've enjoyed here tonight. Now the shot clock winding down. Banks to Kelly. Kelly, an off-balance 3. I don't believe that.
Oh, Kelly.
He's got a big smile as he moves down the court.
Maybe we're going to call him Shipwreck. What a shot.
Falling away, a man in his face, and UNLV with the lead. Now Burley to answer. Johnson on the rebound for the Rebels. Now Banks to Kelly. Clark is assigned to Kelly. Kelly can't shake him, but he goes to Delron Johnson. What a pass by Kelly, and the Rebels lead by 5.
That's why you never give up. End of the day.
Green, he's been quiet offensively. The Rams in a bit of a panic. Turnover.
3:12 left in overtime.
Banks. Well, the Rams are kind of slow getting down the court.
Yeah.
Banks goes to Turner. Kelly wide open for 3. Turner opts to shoot, and he gets the bounce. And the crowd can't believe it.
How big would this be if UNLV holds on to get a split on this triple? They were dead. I mean, dead in the water.
10 unanswered points from the 3-second mark in regulation for the Rebels. Here's Rakeski to try and get some back, and he does. 12 points for Rakeski. Lou Kelly leading the floor with 23.
4-point lead.
No lead is safe. Kelly scored 23 against Colorado State in Las Vegas. He loves this Ram defense. Banks to Kelly. Passes on the 3. Back to Banks. Banks from the baseline. Shot no good, and Green rebounds.
Can cut it to a deuce.
Burley looks into Nelson. Nelson with a big advantage over Chris Richardson.
But they really haven't been able to get it inside very much.
Now Rakeski to Green. Green on Kelly. Kelly's big hand slaps it away. Green calls for a timeout, very close to traveling. But with 1:47 to go, the Rams will have possession with 12 seconds on the shot clock. And the Rebels lead it by 4.
Well, you go back to Kelly's 3 free throws, then he makes the 3. Johnson with a deuce. Turner gets a bounce. They're up 7. Rakeski answers. And we've still got a lot of action going.
Well, what a Monday night here on Las Vegas 1. Running Rebels 90. Colorado State 86. Saturday's game against San Diego State also on Sports West and Las Vegas 1. And then Air Force comes to town a week from Thursday. And then the regular season finale, New Mexico and UNLV. The final tune-up for the tournament can be seen live on Channel 8 on March 2nd.
Team fouls stay the same. Personal fouls stay the same. So all free throws are 2 shots from here on in. Banks somehow staying in the ball game. However, now Lou Kelly has taken the lead personally. He has 23. Banks 22. 45 between them.
Did the Rams have it in them?
I don't
After
know.
virtually giving it away, and with a 1-8 conference record, do they have it in them?
What's the question? How much you believe? You know, if you don't win a lot, it's tough to believe that you're going to win a basketball game. I saw UNLV early in the year did a ball game. They played at Washington, and they just, you know, they weren't there yet. But I've known Charlie Spoonhour a long time. He brings the ball club along. He doesn't have a whole lot of talent. Cover was a little bare in my book. He gets maximum out of them. They scramble, they hustle. Really utilize what you got. Banks on penetration. Kelly and Johnson use their athleticism.
They have emerged as the team to beat in the Mountain West Conference. Wyoming may be in first place, but UNLV will be the team to beat. Clark barely beats the 5 count, gets the ball in, then nearly turns it over.
Look at the defense.
7 on the shot clock. Burley is fouled. Fouled by Richardson.
Charlie can't believe it.
4 seconds on the shot clock, and Burley couldn't be further away from the basket.
Charlie's blood pressure right now has got to be up there a little bit. Couldn't believe it. They played good defense, picked up the foul.
Richardson, a senior, a freshman move there, and Burley makes him pay. 3-point lead. It was 90 to 83. Now it's 90 to 88.
Here's the press.
Now it's the Rams who won't go away. Turner hasn't seen a whole lot of playing time. No doubt he's nervous to be out there. Banks back to Turner. To Kelly. Richardson. Rebels by 2, 15 on the shot clock. Banks and Clark, the matchup at the top of the key.
Got the feeling they like Richardson to take Nelson on the dribble.
Banks blocked. Shot clock didn't reset. Turner's going to have to shoot to beat the clock, and Turner misses. Rebound to Johnson. Back to Turner and a fresh 35.
Under a minute. Boy, how huge was that scrambling rebound. See what kind of shot they get.
They're going to eat some clock here.
Like to do it at the line.
Banks picked up by Burley. This is where Banks loves to drive to the basket. He's got 4 fouls. 10 on the shot clock. Here comes Banks to Turner for 3, and Turner is in and out. Another rebound by Lou Kelly.
Boy, that's huge. 29 seconds.
They leave Kelly alone. He dribbles around.
The shot clock.
And now he's fouled.
Well, the shot clock has been on 35.
They've had a lot of trouble this weekend with the scores table. Numerous problems Saturday against Wyoming. There's 20.4 seconds left in the game. Now the shot clock is off officially, so it can't be screwed up anymore. And Kelly's at the free throw line. He's the reason UNLV is in overtime, and he has a chance to make it a 2-possession game for the Rebels.
Now you talk about something special. What he did at the end of regulation. Nobody on the line, crowd getting after him.
The officials are looking at the clock.
Well, the
and
shot
obviously
clock,
it's a shot clock question.
And it's really not a factor, though.
It didn't reset right away, and that is the issue at hand at the scorers table. And I think right now they're trying to figure out if indeed there should be time put up on the shot clock, though Kelly was fouled and he's at the free throw line, so that should negate that anyway. But they're looking nonetheless. 20.4 seconds to go, 90 to 88. UNLV. This series began in 1979 here in Fort Collins, and the Rebels won 90 to 85. Last year here, the Rams blew out UNLV 80 to 55. Again, they're looking at our replay.
I've got under 20. I got 22 seconds.
There's 20.4
put 2 back
on the game clock, so the discussions continue. Dale Air is obviously begging for any amount of time that he can get, and they have added nearly 3 seconds. Now there's 23.5 put up. Now Charlie Spoonhour has a follow-up question, but it'll be a 2-possession game if Luke Kelly can hit his free throws. Kelly with 23 points.
Well, this ought to be like stealing after what he did at the end of the regulation time.
A season high now for Kelly, 24 points. He had 20 on Saturday at Wyoming. It's a 3-point UNLV lead. Kelly gets them both. Rebels by 4.
Here's the press to make him use a little time. You don't need a 3, but you need a very quick 2.
Rakeski hops a 3 and he hits.
And a timeout. No, they didn't call a timeout.
Do they have any timeouts? Dale Lair is saying,
they called one,
call
that's a technical. If they called it, it's a T. If they don't have one, you get one extra one. I'll tell you that
timeout,
hit a shot.
Colorado State. It's a 1-point game.
He threw up a prayer and it was answered.
Well, Dale Lair, they called timeout, and then the officials looked at me, shook his head saying, no, 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 we don't want the timeout.
I thought maybe he was out of him. Look at this shot. Rebels lay off and don't foul him.
Well, the irony of that for Rakeski is he was the one who fouled Lou Kelly at the end of regulation. And Kelly hit the 3 free throws to force overtime. Now it's Rakeski hitting a 3, keeping his team in the game here with 15 seconds to play.
Well, the Rebels will try and run away from him and not get fouled. CSU is going to have to foul right away to have some time left. If you foul, you still can tie the ball game up even if UNLV makes both free throws.
The Rams enjoying their 36th year inside Moby Arena. 364 wins, 135 losses, but they're 6-5 here this season.
Refereed the first game ever in this gym.
That was
Jim
1912.
No. Give me a break. Jim Williams had a detached retina. He couldn't coach. Tiny Grant coached the ball club, and they beat New Mexico State.
You were the first. Did you call a good game?
No, never have. But I'll tell you,
it's taken so many years for you to admit that. I'm glad I'm here as a witness.
All the time.
All right, let's set the scene. 15.1 on the clock. 92-91. UNLV in overtime.
Well, you don't want to foul Kelly.
You don't want to foul Banks.
You may not have a choice.
Shot clock's off.
All right, let's see what happens here. Once again, you're looking for the flop.
It's Lou Kelly, and he's fouled. And Kelly will go to the line. And that's number 5 on Rakeski. So his night is over. Even if Kelly hits the 2, suddenly the Rams are the ones who need a 3 to force a second overtime.
Rakeski had 2 huge buckets in this overtime and it looked like it was over after Kelly, Johnson, and Turner at the end of that 10-0 run.
25 points for Kelly, a career high. For Rakeski, he's fouled out with 15. And that's a season high for John Rakeski, redshirt freshman. We'll see him in Las Vegas, and we'll certainly see him for the next several years. Another one of those smooth shooters that Colorado State has prided themselves on over the years. They've had some good shooters here. So Kelly is going to come to the line. Not as much pressure on him as was the end of regulation, but these are very important.
He's made 5 in a row.
Bigby is into the game. Bigby, Kelly, Banks, Richardson, and Johnson for UNLV. For the Rams, Robinson, Burley, Williams, Clark, and Green. Kelly gets 2 free throws, and he makes the first. 26 points now for Lou Kelly.
This game's been going 2.5 hours. That red-headed guy was clean-shaven when he came here. It's been a long game, Dave.
But what a game it's been. Kelly gets them both. It's a 3-point UNLV lead. The Rebels call timeout to set their defense. The Rams will use the timeout to prepare for a 3-point play.
Well, you got to guard the perimeter. It's just simple as that. Who's going to jump up and take one? The best way still to get a 3-point shot. For some reason, kids get excited. You pass it into the post and then pass it back out. It works.
Well, it has to be Burley getting the shot. Macklin's already fouled out. Rakeski's already fouled out. Burley is their 3-point shooting ace, best 3-point shooter in the conference. And nobody else has shot any. Freddie Robinson is 26% from 3.
Clark's got a big bandage on his thumb.
Brian Green has shot just 1 of 4 from 3 all season long. There's nobody out there besides Burley that the statistics show should get the ball.
Here's the pressure. Does Charlie dare foul him and make him...
No foul. Burley to Green. Green, an improbable 3. Short. Rebound Johnson. Outlets to Kelly.
That'll do it.
And Kelly is fouled with 0.2 of a second to go. What a look Brian Green had, but he's just 1 of 4 all season shooting the 3.
Crowd leaving.
The crowd can't believe it. They were seconds away from celebrating a very emotional win And now UNLV.
Well, Spoon will take everybody off the line.
94-91.
I saw a state high school game decide in this situation when they kept people on the line. Here it is. Here was the look. They got Brian a good one, and it looked pretty good, but it's short. And then the big rebound.
Kelly,
well, that's
another free throw. 27-28 points now for Lou Kelly.
How big a win is this for UNLV? They beat Utah and BYU at home. They got 3 coming up at home.
Lou Kelly again. There's no question this legitimizes the Runnin' Rebels as the contender, the team to deal with in the Mountain West Conference tournament. The Rebels come home for 3 home games. They hope for 3 more. And if they can win 6 straight at the Thomas and Mack, they'll be on their way to the NCAA tournament. Overtime has finally ended. Charlie Spoonhour's Rebels rally and beat the Rams 96-91. Welcome back to Moby Arena. UNLV has defeated Colorado State in overtime 96-91. At the conclusion of each game, we select the AT&T Most Valuable Player, presented by AT&T Wireless Services. Wireless from AT&T, your world close at hand. And tonight's AT&T MVP is Lou Kelly. 29 points, a career high, and Kelly made 12 of 14 free throws, including 3 in a row with no time on the clock to force overtime. And here he gets a breakaway tomahawk dunk. Lou Kelly, the man of the hour for the Runnin' Rebels, and Kelly, the reason UNLV has defeated Colorado State 96-91. More from Irv Brown as we continue here in just a moment. Tony McCann, Irv Brown, welcome back to courtside. Everyone has cleared out, and here are the final stats brought to you by Delta Airlines. Everyone has a reason to see somebody person to person. That's the reason Delta flies.
Well, and UNLV makes their free throws. It always comes down to free throws at the end of the game. They make them. I thought Kelly and Banks were just superb. UNLV comes in here and steals when the game was over. This is the team to beat in the Mountain West Conference tournament.
Lou Kelly fouled with time running out in regulation. The Rebels were down 3. He stepped up. He made 3 free throws to force the extra period, and UNLV pulls away 96-91. Verizon Wireless provides exclusive cellular communications for Sports West Productions. Verizon Wireless, simple, affordable, national. Join in. This Sports West telecast was produced by Jessica Johnson and directed by former Orem Golden Tiger David Monson. The executive producer of Sports West Productions is Michael Meyer, and our thanks go out to our entire crew here in Fort Collins tonight. The Las Vegas One post-game show is coming up next. This has been a presentation of Bonneville Sports West Productions in association with AT&T Cable and Las Vegas One. For more about Sports West Productions, go online at www.gosportswest.com. The Rebels improved to 15-9 on the year, 6-5 in conference. They win by 5 in overtime. For Irv Brown, I'm Dave McCann. Good night, everybody.